So do you know what sonar waves are? You've heard of sonar waves from a submarine. So a submarine will send out sonar waves, and they do that so they don't hit another submarine or an iceberg or whatever you'd hit, okay? So a submarine sends out those sonar waves and just to make sure you don't run into anything. So Aaron Rodgers right now is sending out soon-R waves. Very soon there'll be a decision on his career, and he doesn't want to hit the Browns or the Carolina Panthers or the Washington football team with his great brand. So Aaron did this again. He did it again. Aaron's a smart guy. He does not have a no-trade clause. There's only 8 players in the entire National Football League that have a no-trade clause, and only 3 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Mahomes. They can say, I'm not going there. Aaron doesn't have that. And Aaron Rodgers knows that. So what do you do? What do you do? You send out your sonar waves. Just to let you know, all you crappy organizations, you try to get me, I'll quit. So once again, second time, did it right before the season, doing it again. Aaron sent out his sonar waves in regards to his retirement. There's 0 chance he retires. He's not retiring. 0 chance. But the discussion, and that's not a threat. You notice how he says it nicely. The discussion of retirement lets all the second-tier franchises know, I will retire. I will not go and be a member of the Washington football team in their chaos, Carolina in their chaos, Cleveland in their chaos. And Cleveland's got a good roster, but it's too much chaos. Aaron's brand is better than Cleveland's, right? He's not going there. And I'm not saying Cleveland's going to be looking for him. But that's what he's doing here. He's sending out the waves. You know, they always say people have emotional affairs before they have physical affairs. You send out messaging. I'm available. So, you know, Aaron's coming across like, hey, I've got total control on this. Aaron's way too smart for this. He doesn't have any control. He could be traded to anywhere in the league. Green Bay's not going to trade him because Jordan Love can't play. We'll get into that later. But this is just what players do. You know, I always laugh when guys say, hey, I control this marriage. I make the calls. And I'm like, she could leave you tomorrow and get half of everything. At most, you have 50% control or power if that matters to you in your marriage. Aaron knows. And this is one of the things I've said for years. The franchise tag is anti-quarterback. If you're a tight end or a safety, the franchise tag is your friend. You don't even have to get a new contract, and you can be paid one of the top 5 guys at your position. But if you're Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, the franchise tag is your enemy. You should be the highest paid person or second highest paid person, and a franchise can just keep doing it and not commit long term. So quarterbacks really don't have any power in this league. They really don't, unless they have, the most they can have is a no trade clause, right? Or the way Tom Brady did it after 20 years, he finally got getaway power. But what Aaron is doing, he's sending out messages. My job is to provide some clarity. He's sending out messages to all the bad teams in this league. Denver, he'd go. Pittsburgh, he'd go. But the bad brands, sonar waves. I'm not putting my submarine banging into your big iceberg. I got no interest hooking up my great submarine to your crappy ship. I'm not letting it happen. Because Aaron knows he got no power. It's time for another edition. I can't believe what Russell Westbrook did, even though there's 13 years of evidence of what Russell Westbrook is. So last night the Lakers lost to a very young, exciting, fun team, Memphis. Fun team. And Russell Westbrook at the end of the game, you know, he did what he can often do. He screwed up. Russell Westbrook, he missed a layup with a couple minutes left. Playing kind of out of control. It looked like a gimme, and then he kind of confused the Lakers on a final possession, and LeBron was confused. And the Lakers, he did not play well at the end of the game, and that's because, as we've said for years, at least I have, he doesn't play well at the end of the game. He's a bull in a china shop. He's a stat padder. But we all know what he is, so stop blaming him. Don't put him in positions to succeed, because end-of-game refinement is not what he is. And years ago, and last night was just a great example, late in games, he's in the wrong spot, he's confusing LeBron, he misses a layup, it's just what he is. Last night is a great example of why I laughed at the Most Valuable Player award. He got it because of the triple-double. And I said, I'm not saying triple doubles are always bad, but they don't have nearly as much value as you think they do. I don't want my guard getting 12 rebounds a game. I want him up the floor. I want the bigs getting the rebound and outletting it to him so Westbrook isn't under the basket and has to bob and weave down the floor. But a great example of this is assists. So to get a triple-double, Westbrook's going to get points because he's talented, and he padded his rebound stats. But his assist stats are true. He does end up with lots of assists. But here's a great example of how flawed stats can be. For instance, Matt Ryan is 8th all-time in NFL passing yards. Do you think Matt Ryan's the 8th best quarterback? Joe Flacco's 19th. He's not a top 100 quarterback. So here's the all-time top 12 assist list. Now, I did not see Oscar Robertson play, so I have no opinion on number 7. But when I say John Stockton, what do you think? Passer. When I say Jason Kidd couldn't shoot his first 12 years in the league. You think passer. By the way, I saw Jason Kidd play in high school. He was a great passer then. Chris Paul, distributor. Steve Nash, Mark Jackson, Magic Johnson. Even LeBron James, we've said for years. You can argue he's more passer than scorer. He's just so damn talented. Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, Andre Miller. Now, Payton's brand was defense, but it wasn't scoring. It was defense, scoring, and assisting. Andre Miller. Do you remember Andre Miller? I do. Kind of a bigger guard, a little heavy, kind of shuffled. Was never a great scorer. Great passer. And then there's Westbrook at 12. You've never once in your life said Westbrook is an elite passer. So how does he end up on that list? Because he's second all time in the history of this sport to Michael Jordan in ball usage. He always has the ball. Don't confuse longevity or activity with, that guy's a great passer. That's why the triple-double was nonsense. Westbrook should average 25 a game. Over the course of a regular season, he's got the ball in his hands. He's wildly athletic. He can fly past people. He can finish at the rim. I have no problem with him being a Hall of Famer, being an all-star. He's a great scorer. But nobody thinks all-time rebounder is Westbrook, and certainly even as a guard, nobody thinks of him as an all-time assist guy. When I give you the list of the top 12 assist people, all of them, again, I don't count Oscar. I didn't watch him play. The other 10, I think of them, I mean, as great as Isaiah Thomas was, I think of that Pistons team. I think of the ball, he was getting the ball to Joe Dumars and Vinnie Johnson and Bill Laimbeer. Westbrook's the one you're like, that doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit because he's never been an assist guy. He just has the ball in his hands so much. So I've been defending Westbrook over the last couple of weeks. I thought he was a good addition to the Lakers because he would just add productivity, and it's an old roster, and old rosters get hurt. LeBron's already been dinged up. AD is hurt. I mean, Malik Monk's about the only young player they like. So he was a great addition. He can give you minutes. He can give you production. I don't want him, as I said when he got here, near the ball late in games. That's one of the reasons LeBron and Westbrook are struggling. They both need the ball. The difference is LeBron's great with the ball late. Westbrook's not. And they both really need it. So as everybody's complaining, second day in a row I've said this, as we're all complaining about Westbrook, you're putting him in positions to be what he's not. Earlier in the year, there's a story. He's not screening like we thought he would. That's not what he does. He's really not shooting like that's not what he does. And then last night, boy, he's terrible late. That's what he is, 13 years of data. So this is not a knock on Westbrook. It is an acknowledgement of 13 years of data. The Lakers traded for him, and now all I hear is people going nuts in L.A., banging on Westbrook, and he doesn't do this, and he doesn't do that. Folks, Matt Ryan's not mobile. 8th all-time in total yards. You don't think he's mobile? You don't think he's top 8. It's a longevity number. Flacco's got a longevity number. Westbrook, with a lot of his stats, a longevity number. But don't ask somebody to be refined. It's not their game, and I've got evidence. I've got a resume. I've got videotape. I've got YouTube. I can show you over and over and over. So last night, everybody's like, I can't believe this. How can you not believe it? That's a you problem. That's not a Westbrook problem. All over social media, this is outrageous. Have you paid attention? I mean, I know I have to watch more games than you because it's what I do for a living. But it's funny now. I'm hearing all these Westbrook trade rumors. As I said when he got here, Yes, I'm patting myself in the back. Don't ask him to close games out for you. Ask for 36 minutes and 22 points and hustle. He is great at that. And that has huge value on a rickety old roster. And that's why the Lakers front office wanted to keep Alex Caruso and go attain Buddy Hield, and LeBron wanted Westbrook. And now he's not happy because there's a lot of turnovers late in games, and that's exactly what you get with Russell Westbrook. This is where you come in America to defend Russell Westbrook, this show. I am now the defender. I've pivoted to defending Russell Westbrook. What I'm pivoting to is stop asking people to do stuff they're not. Stop it. Stop it. That's not what they do. You can't ask Matt Ryan to run around. It's not what he does. Yeah, stop. Stop asking Westbrook to be refined and a great shooter and do this and that late in games. It's not what he does. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.